What's up, NBA fan? What's up, all sports fans? This your boy JB, host of the Behind the Bench Podcast Network and channel, giving a shout out to the rest of the crew. And for everyone who's tuning in, the crew, as well as myself, thank you for supporting Behind the Bench. Subscribe to the channel. Help make the show the best that it can be. Good God, man. And look. I don't mean to continue talking about this subject. I really, really don't. But the stars always tend to line up. And I come across an experience that reminds me of everything that I have believed about the LA Lakers and the players that they have drafted over the course of the past 10 years, man. And here's another example of what I've been talking about. What I've always believed and what I hope that more fans of this franchise and just basketball fans in general who come across these videos, if the team would have allowed themselves to be more patient, they would have began to win on their own at their own pace naturally, rather than embracing a win now mentality that leads you to mortgage more of your future away. If you build up your own, you will not have to trade off draft pick after draft pick after draft pick. Because really, since all this started summer 2018, like a hurricane, pun intended, this is 2025. They've essentially already given up a decade worth of draft picks. Now, we know you can't keep every draft pick. We know that you cannot maintain every player who you do draft. But the problem is the players who you've drafted since 2014, they're all gone. Including Max Christie. A funny thing happened the other day. First of all, before he was traded along with Anthony Davis to the Dallas Mavericks for Luka Doncic. And I know fans are going to say, oh, man, Luka Doncic is way better than Max Christie. But they're not getting the point. If the plan was really working since 2018 consistently, you would not have been pressed to trade for 3 superstars over 6 years. You would need to do it. If you build up the foundation as you was in position to do, all you would need is 1 star player as a free agent. Go back and look at the Lakers in the 90s. There was only one. Matter of fact, prior to the hurricane, the only superstar who the Lakers ever signed outright through free agency was Shaquille O'Neal. And this is why I ask the fans of the franchise, revisit the history. The history will show you what's been going on this past 6 years is totally foreign to what made this franchise great for so long, to where you wouldn't even think about embracing the win now mentality, because when you invest in what you're doing, you will establish a standard that can resonate and last for years upon years upon years upon years, to where you won't have to be flipping the roster over every year and having this laissez-faire attitude about trading away tremendous young talent. And I'm not the only fan of this franchise who have done this. This is not about me. Only reason I do these videos around this subject the way I do is to show what the franchise has traded away. It all looks good right now because they just made a trade. They brought in some more players. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's been going on basically since all this started. You get an initial push, you start feeling good about things, and then the reality of what was given up starts to settle in. And it doesn't take long. So, Max Christie, he was drafted in the summer of 2022, second round out of Michigan State. And I as I say, man, I watch these players' workout videos, man. And when you watch them, when you think of it, let me put it this way. When you're a fan and you sit and watch a video or just support a player, and you don't have that win now influence, well, what you're going to find out doing, anybody can do this. Anybody. You're not going to focus on what the perception is that they can't do. You're going to focus on what they can do and what they can contribute to the team's success. That's how you build a team. See, because of this negative influence of win now, throwing all chips in, you lose sight of what it truly means to build a team. And I ain't just talking about for 1 or 2 years to benefit one particular individual. I'm talking about where the team is going to stand for a long period of time, and the players who is part of that experience, you will always remember, and they'll be part of the fabric of the franchise, where they become staples of the franchise. So what I'm trying to say is, man, I've been watching Max Christie a lot, and I said to myself, I said, man, he's going to be a Klay Thompson prototype. That may sound like a joke. That may sound like, because you know people maybe think, man, Klay Thompson, he's a 4-time champion. You know, he's been to the All-Star about maybe, multiple times. You know, let's just say I'm just throwing a number out there, five times. You know, he was part of Splash Brothers, right? Game 6 Klay, right? But the thing is, he didn't start out like that. He was a rookie, just like everybody else coming in as a rookie, right? I believe he's from the University of Washington. Klay Thompson became an all-star for the first time, not in his first year, not in his second year, not in his third year, his fourth season in the league. And it's not a knock, that's just how he developed. So when I throw that out there about when I reach that conclusion about Christie, it may fall on deaf ears. But, man, I just watched him play tonight. I just watched him play tonight for the Dallas Mavericks. His second game for the Dallas Mavericks after being traded there. And right on the meter, man, here we go. Another young talent that the Lakers drafted. And that was siphoned off to generate an attempt to win now. And I'm telling you, it always looks good when the trades are made. But very rarely are you going to win that way. You see what I'm saying? Because there's always going to be something missing. And I'm not talking about personnel. I'm talking about mentality. When it's really time to go out there and compete. When you build yourself up, and when you allow your players to grow, well, they begin to understand what it takes to win. And it does take time, but it don't take as long as what people think. So here we go tonight as the Dallas Mavericks face the Houston Rockets at home, right? This is their first home game since they traded Luka Doncic, right? So there's a lot of anxiety about, what has transpired. And here go Max Christie, right on point. He scores 23 points. Coming off the bench. 4 or 5 shooting from 3. And he closed the game out for the Mavericks because Anthony Davis got hurt. Hopefully he'll be okay. Kyrie Irving struggled, probably because he's trying to get that sync and chemistry together with AD. And Kyrie tried to get rolling in the fourth quarter, but during the second half of the fourth quarter, towards the end of the game, it was Max Christie playing exceptional basketball on offense and defense. Also, they passed the ball inbounds to Christie in order to break the half-court trap attempted by the Houston Rockets and allowed him to get the ball cross court, which forced Houston to foul Christie to send him to the line. Now, Houston was trying to make a huge comeback, right? What does he do? He goes 9 of 10 from the free throw line. He has great instincts for the game. He understands how to play. And this is what I'm talking about, player development, man. It's a real thing. And I just get thrilled because, like, when you watch a player, when you're looking at a player that you draft and you're not looking at them as trade bait, you understand what they can bring to the table. So when they start to evolve and improve, it's a very exciting and rewarding experience. And fans of the Hurricane, they don't understand that because it's always about, we got to make a move. We got to make a move. We got to make a trade to try to go win now, man. But it's become so counterproductive, man. It's actually, if they was to think about it, it's a boring concept because it don't bring the best out of you once it's really time to buckle down and compete. This is what I'm talking about, man. It's a science to it. It's a science to it. And, you know, all your great GMs and talent evaluators, man, they think in long term. What I mean by long term, of course, you want a player to come in right away and contribute, but they looking at it like, man, you know, by the time, you know, he reached his third or fourth year, oh my God, you know, it's going to be lights out. So it's always exciting, but at the same time, man, you get discouraged because Max Christie could be doing what he did today, playing for his drafted team. But someone's going to come out there, they're going to say, oh, man, well, y'all got Luka Doncic. But the thing is, wasn't nobody thinking about Luka Doncic until last week as far as, you know, playing for the Lakers. You know, common thought was that Luka was going to play for the Dallas Mavericks, you know, basically for the foreseeable future, to where he can be, you know, a legendary figure playing for that franchise his whole career like Dirk Nowitzki. That's what most people were thinking. And that's why fans down there in Dallas were so disheartened when he was traded, because they didn't see that coming. So nobody was thinking about Luka Doncic being traded to the Lakers until it happened. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm getting at is, man, the talent that this franchise is giving up in over the past 10 years is unsurpassed, man. It's unsurpassed. You look at what OKC is doing, great. They hitting home runs, man, and they built that thing up over a 4 or 5 year period. Houston is on an uptick. You know, Memphis is playing great. You know, they're close to being 20 games over 500. You know, Denver built their team up to become a champion. It's awesome to see, but none of those teams have drafted the depth of young talent, the bevy of young talent like the Lakers did over this 10-year period. Over like close to 20 drafted players have been siphoned off for one guy's cause to try to win another title. I'm not trying to be wordy, but I'm trying to break it down because the common voices that we hear, throughout the course of the season, man, they're not really understanding. You cannot continue. You cannot you cannot take a 19-year-old and draft them and then trade them at 21 years old. Or you cannot take a rookie like Dalton Knecht, who's giving you 10 points a game, the nation's best 3-point shooter coming out of college, and just trade him on the dime. No, man. But like I said, I understand. You know, a lot of fans out there, they want to win right now. I get that. I get it, but I don't. You see, because the thing is, when I talk about Max Christie, if I talk about Dalton Connect, like I did a video about Dalton Connect, I did videos about other behind the bench members have done videos about Zubats, Vita Zubats, what he's doing this year. He surprised a lot of people, but he's not surprising me. But you got to give him the ball. Here, like the other night, the Clippers played, I think, Indiana. He shot 8-11 from the floor. I don't think he got another shot attempt in the second half. He was probably on his way to getting 25, 26 points, along with, I think he got like, double figures in rebounds. But they stopped giving him the ball. They couldn't hit a shot from the perimeter, and they wound up losing because they did not give Zubats the ball. So when I look at Christie, by the time Klay Thompson's no longer playing for the Mavericks, or by the time he retires, Christie's going to be his replacement, and he's going to average about 22, 23 points a game. And he's going to be an excellent defender, excellent two-way player. I can already see it. Dalton Connect, by year 3, he'll be dropping about 22 points a game. Zubats, in nature, if they give him his shot attempts that he's supposed to have, that's 22 points a game. This franchise has literally traded away or let go 7 guys from that drafting period that can average 20 points a game or more. Brandon Ingram, in his new situation in Toronto, maybe he'll feel more comfortable being assertive in that department. That's 27-20. I guarantee you he's going to average about 27 points a game. Guaranteed. Stamp it. Book it. Kuzma, 22 points a game his first 2 years in Washington. And he will make an impact with Milwaukee when they're at full strength. Jordan Clarkson averaged 20 points a game up there in Utah. And when he won Sixth Man of the Year, he averaged close to 20 points a game. I can go on and on and on. People have heard me what I said about Josh Hart and his rebounding. He's the best rebounder in league history for anybody his height or shorter. And people sit there and tell me that we didn't have no talent. No, man, I can't. That don't register to me. And if I saw another franchise do this, I would be just as bothered, but not as much, of course, as being, by me being a fan of the Lakers. But you just can't do this, man. Look, and when you know what a player can do and they're actually doing it, that shows that you have belief. The problem with the win now method is you want ready-made players that you feel that can lead you to take the lesser road traveled. But it ain't real competition. That's the whole point. That's why when Jordan went through the struggle for 7 years, when he broke through and became champion, the way all that emotion just came out, man. That's because he knew he didn't take no shortcuts, man. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, kudos to Max Christie, dog. And it's exciting to see. And I just think, man, if more fans of this franchise would just think about it, how rewarding it would be if you just be patient, let them develop. You're only talking about, instead of going win now in 2020, the development would have been there going into the new decade, and you could really start winning naturally. But you got to believe, though. You can start winning naturally maybe a year after that. But it's gonna resonate for a longer period of time where you ain't got a mortgage off a 2029 first round pick to bring in a center. You see what I'm saying? You have your sole superstar locked in with your young talent matured. You won't have to be making these trades every year, bringing in a set of superstars over a 3-year period. You wouldn't have to be thinking that. You wouldn't be thinking about, oh man, we got to go out there and get Luka, because we've been winning. And this is not a knock on Luka, because I'm a fan of Luka Doncic. But we weren't thinking about Luka Doncic until the trade was made. Nobody saw that coming. So I just want to throw that out there real quick, man. And like I said, man, I just get thrilled when I see our real players, man, thrive, because the reason why they was traded, it had nothing to do with them. Christie he was playing great. See, that's the thing. It wasn't like he was out there just stinking up the joint. He was playing great and still got traded. You see? It's because of the mentality that has clashed with the front office that's so overwhelming. Before you know it, you done gave up everybody. You see what I'm saying? But I know in my heart, there's no doubt in my mind, if they stay the course with the original young core, build that up, that's phase one. Phase two, bring in a star free agent, you got your whole plethora of draft picks going to the next decade. And I guarantee you, instead of trying to win the win now second title, by 2025, we probably be working on that third one. You see what I'm saying? It's all about the path that you want to go. But kudos to Matt Christie, man. And this ain't no fluke what he doing. This ain't no fluke. This is gonna be commonplace. Now I'm not saying he's gonna be dropping 20s every game this year. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that, but I'm saying when his numbers call, man, he's gonna deliver. That's what I'm talking about. That's why I said you don't need a stacked deck to win. You don't need no 3 superstars to win no championship. Come off of that, you probably gonna lose more than you win because your team is all off whack. But I just want to drop this nugget. Until next time. This is JB for BTB Behind the Bench.